Hey there, welcome back to the Discovery Loft. We're going behind the scenes of the adventures of Zuki in the Mystery Forest today, and I, for one, could not be more excited. And I know that this has been a long time coming, but I will tell you the Zuki book has really become the lifeblood of the creative framework that we work from here at the Discovery Loft. When we started this little adventure, the kids and I were just building a children's story around a real life event that happened here in our house, and it really became this graphic novel that really helped me process and digest my childhood and my early adulthood, the things I believed about myself, the things that I was doing based on beliefs that really were never mine. I didn't know where they came from. I was able to look at contradictions because I didn't believe that those were allowed to exist, that you can also love your parents and see that it's not healthy or safe for you. That's one idea of a contradiction. There's so many different things that the world hands us that says it's black and white, and there's just really so much gray when you really start thinking about it. You know, one of the principles at the Loft is a concept we call mental mastication. My husband thinks that's hysterical I say that, but when we eat food, we start with the process of masticating, chewing, and we have to break down this sustenance in order to start processing it through our body. And I really believe we have to have that same mental mastication for our thoughts, because if thoughts come in and we have no way to break them down and see which thoughts serve us or serve the overall purpose or our goals in life and which ones are just waste, it becomes very difficult to see clearly, to see logically, and to continue to improve your life and to make better decisions for yourself, especially if you're caught in a routine that you see replaying out in your life over and over again. I know I have personally seen this happen in my life more times than I can count. And the fact that we've been able to convert these thoughts and these processes into a story form that children can read and observe and see the true duality of life, look at grace and compassion in a way that makes sense, where we can have grace and compassion for somebody but still create boundaries that are healthy for us. It's a way children can explain deep concepts without scaring or shaping their children's perspective in a way that causes more fear or panic or anxiety. Those are at an all-time high today. But it's a way to really show children how you can look at the things in life that we face and still move forward, learn from them and move forward into the life that we want to have. So I will tell you, this has, like I said, been the lifeblood here at the Discovery Loft. It's a story after our beloved dog, Zuki. We do have a new dog, Bonnie, which my daughter is so excited to write her story. So we're waiting for the right story to present for that. But we ended up doing something with Zuki's graphic novel that I didn't even know. And that's really the exciting part at the Loft, is we're not just building with an idea of what's coming. We're building and we expect the ideas to come. And that's really how I see and how we function here at the Loft. I really want to just start the work and see what comes from it. A lot of times, even in standard education, we say, oh, we got to set all these things in place, like 0 through 12th grade. This is where you're going to learn. And then you can start doing stuff. And we're doing that backwards. We're saying you can learn while you're learning, and you can create while you're learning, and you have intrinsic ability to think abstractly, even as children. Children can take complex concepts. If you give them the logic, they will follow you. I've seen this. I've proven it over and over again with my kids. We have conversations about return on investment, how we're publishing books, how we're getting products, t-shirts, things like that. And I'm giving this to 7 and 9-year-olds who are following me because I'm investing in the logic and the mental mastication that has to happen, those processes, so they don't need me to think. They have a framework for how to think independently. And I think that can scare some people, because a child who can think for themselves becomes a really, really strong force. But that's what we need. We need children who can think and adapt and grow, understand the feelings they have, not let the feelings guide them, but understand the logic that fueled the feelings so we can feel them, we can express them, but then in a healthy and logical way move past them. So The Adventures of Zuki is based on all of that, though it looks just like a very exciting adventure. But we did something with the story. And again, I didn't expect to do this. This was a shocking revelation to myself and the children. But we realized what we could do was take the graphic novel, because it did become such a robust book, and do a step down. And we turned it into a smaller story, the same story, just a smaller one, but as an immersive coloring storybook. So the storybook maintains the same throughout. However, all of the illustrations are now available for your children to imagine and bring to life. This is what we are calling our co-creation opportunity here at the Loft, where we can give you this immersive novel, show you our perspective, what it meant to us, the processing of our lives that brought us to this point through Zuki's story. And you can take this immersive coloring book and bring your own thoughts and your own lens to life and co-create alongside us here at the Loft, where you now have, when you're done, a living artifact. It's a book that you've colored and brought to life and is your co-creation alongside the Loft. You are now considered a co-creator. And I think children need that. I feel like I've observed my children having an investment in their own thoughts by creating alongside me at the Loft. And there's just no greater thing to build your child's confidence that they are able to create at such a young age. Or maybe they're, teenagers even, and that's still so young. We just don't believe that children have the ability to bring these wild and incredible insights the way they truly are if they have the right pathway set out for them, the framework set out that they can think through, versus being told what to think and then later trying to figure out how to think. It's kind of the reverse approach. I really see my kids as my apprentices here. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a creator, so I'm just bringing them into my world and showing them how the process of thought works, and we're just creating as we go. And that's what we discovered, was this immersive coloring storybook that makes your child a co-creator alongside the Loft, and then that book lives in your home. It's a window of for you to look into your child's thought process, how they brought it to life, how they saw the story, and how it correlated with the pictures. It's an opportunity for the children to look back on their creation later on in life to see how their developmental process worked for them. It's a really cool opportunity for the community to then share their perspective of Zuki's story back to us, because that's what it's all about. Today we live in this age where everybody wants everybody to see the world the way they do. And the truth is, that's not how it works. We're all given our own individual lens that we see through. The different experiences, the thoughts, the people in our lives, they all shape that lens that we see through. And it's really important that we continue to widen that lens and widen our aperture so we can see more of where people are coming from, not to change your perspective, but to understand that why multiple perspectives exist, why we can have conversations that don't end in conflict. They end in just exploring others' thoughts and still being convicted in our own thoughts and feelings, because we actually can stand firm on our beliefs, because we've interrogated our thoughts and our beliefs, and we've decided, yes, these serve us, and yes, they make sense to my life, and they continue to perpetuate forward the life I want to live. And yes, I know these thoughts are big and exciting and probably too grand for children, but it's not. This is the time where they get to shape the framework of how they think, and this is an opportunity for us to see into them, into the lens that is their thought process shaping. And for me, I'm overly fascinated with how we think, how the process of thought occurs in our head, what shapes those thoughts, what shapes those thoughts that triggers feelings. And really, that's the overarching concept of why these books are so great. And are they perfect? Absolutely not. I look at them now and I see ways I could have done them better, but that's the creative process. And that's how iterations happen. And that's where the immersive coloring book came from, because I would have never thought that if it was the first iteration. So that's what we want to do, is we want to share our creative inspiration with the world and then encourage you guys to share it back with us. This is not a one-way street like most authorship works. Like, here's my book, you read it, you absorb my thoughts. No, take our thoughts, take our experience, take our lens, and show us what it shows you about yourself. Show us what it shows through your perspective. How would you see this story based on the things that you've experienced and encountered in your life? And I know I'm going long here, but I'm excited. We have so many amazing things. Books should be arriving here in the next couple weeks. We're going to have a launch date coming out here at the end of this month. I'm so excited to share all this with you. So thank you for hanging on. Thank you for coming behind the scenes. And I will share the story of how this particular story came to be once I have the kids, because I know they're excited to tell you about it, though it's a little gruesome, but we did not do the gruesome part in the story. So anyways, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for coming along with the journey of the Loft. And I encourage you to become co-creators with us. Everything that we do is an opportunity to share our lens and have you respond back to us with your lens so we continue to widen ours. So have a great day. Have a wonderful, I don't even know, I want things to be wonderful for people in a way that even when things aren't going great, we can still see the way forward. And that to me is what's wonderful. So welcome to the Loft. Zuki's coming soon. So many great things. and so much more on the way. We're starting our Christmas special, and oh my gosh, I could share and share and share with you guys. So Zuki's World is coming soon. If you haven't joined that wait list, we can't wait to launch the date for you. As soon as we know, we'll get it out to the wait list first, because they are our priority, and then we're going to share it with the world. And again, the story's not perfect. It's just a window into our thoughts and at that particular time in life. So welcome to the loft and welcome to the journey. See you soon.